Yo, minasan, welcome to Manga Sensei, where we break down the world's best language, culture, and region in the world to kind of explain some things about it, and basically kind of chitty chat about it from things that we're interested in. This week we've been talking and posting on the blog a lot of things about Japanese days and things that go on during the Japanese day. But this week we're going to start talking more about work, and particularly like resumes and job stuff, and we figure we'd kind of talk a little bit today about what we do for work. So John, what are you going to be when you grow up?
So what am I going to be?
Wait, before you tell that,
yeah.
What tea are we drinking today?
Oh, yes, today, was it the dandelion?
It is dandelion detox.
It's pretty good, especially with the whipped honey. Like
the whipped honey?
Pretty
it's what
solid
it is.
tea.
If you want to level up your tea game, whipped honey. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It does. It's because it evaporates or melts into the water a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which is really, really great.
Exactly.
And
it's delicious.
It's not too sweet. Okay, sorry.
Delicious.
Go ahead. What do you do when you grow up?
So right now, the plan is kind of to work along with this and stuff and everything, the manga sensei stuff, but also thinking about law school and everything. I've basically been prepping for law school, you know, and basically in almost my final year, going into the final year of school right now. Mm-hmm. And so going to be taking the LSAT coming up and doing all that stuff. But
yeah, LSAT.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But yeah,
most likely you'll either be really successful at Manga Sensei or you'll be really successful as a lawyer. Yeah. He'll be really successful, and I'll be here, guys. You're also here.
Exactly. We'll see what happens. Help us be successful.
Please.
Yeah.
You can always sign up at manga-sensei.com.
Exactly. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to make great Japanese content and make Japanese language tools.
Nice.
Basically what I'm doing now. That's why I'm reading the books that I'm reading. That's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I like the startup scene.
Yeah.
Manga Sensei is a young startup. We basically make a whole bunch of really, really fun things, and one day we'll ask you for help when we come up with our app. So be ready for that someday.
Yeah, among other things.
Things.
So this summer, besides what you're doing for Manga Sensei, what are you doing for work?
I actually help people's websites get found. I do SEO.
Nice.
I basically I help other startups get their place found. So like there's a startup I'm working with right now that they started off and they're selling signs of certain types, and basically I'm helping them get found on the internet. Nice. Making their shop work. I think that's what I do here. So I just kind of figure I'd take my skills over there and make a little extra money for us.
Nice.
Yep. And last question before we get into our topic, the thing we want to talk about today is what book are you reading, John?
So this week, reading The Good Earth by Pearl S. Buck. You ever read it?
I haven't read that one yet.
No, yeah. So that's what I'm reading. How about you?
I am reading The Richest Man in Babylon. Lovely book.
Nice.
Very classic book in the business world.
Yeah.
I've read about half of it right now, and it's actually pretty good. It's not bad. I knew a lot of this stuff beforehand, but I was kind of I like the wording. It's very literary for a business book.
That's nice. Yeah.
I like his. He's got a really good lexicon.
Literature. Yeah.
It's very literary. I was kind of surprised.
With your work. Yeah.
I like this one.
Very poetic about business life.
I'll show you some scenes from this one. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that. But today we want to talk a little about something I'm super, super interested in.
Yeah.
And rightly so, being part of a startup, being co-founding a startup, working in Silicon Slopes, being really, really into that scene, talking to other entrepreneurs. The question comes in, why are there no Japanese entrepreneurs?
And seriously though, and like honestly, if you go around Japan and everything and you talk to people about business world and everything, there's a lot that they have to say about current companies and companies that they know, the ones that represent Japan, I mean Nintendo, all this stuff. But kind of since kind of like the 80s, 90s era and before
70s,
that.
I go back further than that, 70s, 60s.
There's not too many new companies that have made it and that are worth talking about in Japan. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but
there's Tenraku, Rakuten, which is newer.
Yeah.
But aside from that, Japan is one of the worst places in the world for startups, actually.
Yeah.
Not because it's a bad place to do a startup, but simply there is so little startups going on.
No, exactly.
America's up there. We're not the top. Korea, I believe, is ahead of us. Singapore is ahead of us. Some of the Norwegian countries are ahead of us. They're pretty entrepreneurial up there, those Finns. That Four Sigmatic stuff was made by a startup.
Oh, yeah?
We really like,
Well, solid.
If you guys want to send some stuff our way, too, that'd be great. We love Four Sigmatic. You guys are legit.
Exactly.
But, no, there's a lot of different things that go into it. There's not a lot of startups from people in Japan who buy them.
No, exactly. And so why do you think that is?
I don't know. I have a lot of opinions. I think that it's a cultural thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, definitely a cultural thing.
But I also think it's a government business thing. You think about Japanese history, and you think about Japanese work culture.
Yeah.
What if you're a good kid? What are you going to be when you grow up in Japan?
A good kid, if you grow up, I guess you go straight into what would you say? Like you go into business,
you go become a good salaryman.
Yeah. I guess, and that's the thing. Okay, so this specific word salaryman, that's like your common everyday businessman. For
you wear a suit.
Yeah. No, exactly. And you go a lot further than 9 to 5. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah.
But
so do we.
Yeah. That's different. No suits, okay? That's different.
That's true. No suits.
Yeah. But yeah, so you go and you make money, you bring home a living for your wife and kids, you kind of do that thing. That's what we kind of do in American culture as well, but it's definitely different.
It's definitely different. It's you join your business and that becomes your world. It's something called a zaibatsu. In Korean it's called chaebol.
Yeah.
But basically what this thing is think of a company like Toyota.
Yeah.
Toyota is a great example of this. You have a company that provides your housing. They provide you with your job. They provide you with your group of friends. They provide you with your after-work activities.
Yeah.
They help you find your wife. They support your family. They help you move, and they help you get a car.
Exactly. And to be completely honest, like you have your family life, and in American culture, there's like a lot of value on family and playtime and stuff that comes after the 9 to 5.
Yep.
But like you said, in Japanese culture, you have basically your friends, your colleagues, and everything. You kind of have a relationship with your company, and that almost takes your forefront of all your time and energy. If you are,
I would say it does take it.
Yeah,
I would say it actually does take the forefront.
And that also means having the sacrifices of not being able to go watch your kid's baseball game. You can't kind of just like go hang out around your family after 5 p.m. There's not really family dinners the way that they kind of have the image in American culture.
Now, we are definitely generalizing. There are a ton of people in Japan who don't live this kind of lifestyle, who do different things with their life. There are people who have tons of different walks of life, and we're not trying to belittle that. We're simply saying in our experience, and from what we've studied, this is a very, very pervasive thing. I mean,
especially in the business world.
Especially in the business world. That's why you have a lot of words like botsu gaisha, or like kachiku gaisha, or things like datsusara. Like these things, these specific words are pertaining to the unique work culture of Japan. There's a reason that you cannot get on the train between 5 and 5:15, and the reason you can't get on the train in the morning at around 7 o'clock. It's not happening.
Oh yeah, no, seriously.
No matter what you do, if you get on there, you're going to wish you were a sardine.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I think they're less tightly packed.
They're probably.
I'm sure a lot of our audience has seen the YouTube videos of
people pushing,
cramming in, especially during like a Tokyo rush hour.
Nagoya had it. When I lived in Nagoya, they had it in Nagoya.
It's insanity. No,
Funniest thing I ever saw was they were doing this, and there was this big old white guy, and he had this big old beard. He was like this massive Thor-like character, and they were pushing people in, and the guy gets in there, and the little guy goes in there to push with his little gloves, and they have to like coat and then do it with their back of their hand, and then they push, and he just looks down, he's like, and the guy's like,
oh my gosh,
pushes around him, like, like he was not happy.
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
But it's a thing.
No, yeah. Okay, and just side thing, it was so funny. When my family was traveling in Japan last summer, we were going to a very large firework festival, and on the way there, it was in Nagaoka, and basically like it was huge, and basically like as far as the eye could see, just fireworks. You'd have to turn your head to get the full vision of them. So basically, we're going there, and everyone's crowding around there.
Right.
We get on a train, and like I mean it's tight. It was basically my family. We're really tall. Like I'm 6'3", my dad's 6'3", my little brother's 6'4" now, and like.
Is he taller than you now?
He's taller. He surpassed me. It hurts me just a little bit. Exactly. But yeah, so like we have experienced this because everyone's cramming in. My brother almost got left, and he can't speak Japanese at all. Like I'm the only one who's translating here. He's like trying to get on the train, but it's about to close, and my parents just yank him in. But this entire time, it's in the summer heat, just sweat dripping. I'm glad I am 6'3" because I had a full breeze coming in over my head. But we were looking down, and just like, just everyone is just so tight.
Yeah,
you know someone intimately when you go on trains.
Okay, don't be stupid, train. I got a completely side tangent. We're getting on way too many of these today, but I knew a guy who was in Japan. He was just this kind of this dumb 18, 19-year-old kid, and he was on the train, and they were really, really tight, and this young lady was pushed up against him, and of course, being the highly intelligent 19-year-old that he is, looks down, he's like, if I wasn't here for travel, I'd date you. And
that's exactly what women want to hear. They're pressed against a strange
what they want to hear. That's why there's
a train.
Hashtag MeTooJapan.
Yeah, there we go.
And she looks up and in perfect English says, "If I wasn't married, I might date you." And
that's a better situation than I would expect.
I'm surprised she didn't just curse him out.
Right.
Like it's already awkward enough when you're pushed in there and uncomfortably. But back onto the topic of being an entrepreneur in Japan. The cultural side of things, outside of just the work culture, is first a little bit in the work culture. The government helps pay these zaibatsu. It's very, very common. It's very well known. It's not a secret. It's not like government collusion here in the States. They're interconnected with the government, and that's very open knowledge.
Yeah.
And so the government helps these big companies out. These big companies in turn help the government out. They have a symbiotic relationship. However, if you're a new startup and you're trying to interrupt the car industry, do you really think the government and the zaibatsu is going to let that happen?
Yeah.
They're not going to let it happen.
But you have just Elon Musk coming in and just disrupting an industry he dang well pleases, which is a beautiful thing. But
we need that in a capitalistic system. That's why it works. If you're a capitalist, like I am, I'll put myself out there, I don't care. Capitalism is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the idea, you want to be able to interrupt these big monopolies, and that's what they have as a monopoly. And this is going on for a long time. Some of these zaibatsu are hundreds of years old, tens of, not hundreds, but they're very old. They're turn of the century.
Yeah, especially before before they entered the Meiji Jitai.
Before
the same soy sauce makers are making soy sauce.
Exactly.
They're king.
So when you start doing something that's very, very set in what you're doing, and I think that's a lot of it. I do think people are trying to get out of it more now. But I think but it's mostly the rejects. It's mostly the rejects. And if you are an entrepreneur in Japan, I applaud you. I'd love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, that would be a very unique view into the Japanese world that we actually have. Like, honestly, I don't think I've ever. Okay, maybe once. Yeah,
I've met one.
I think I've been in contact with one and spoken to one entrepreneur.
Is that Gyo?
No, it's I can't remember his name, but it was back when I was living in Tohoku, just like the Boondocks.
I know a guy here in Provo, a guy who runs a Japanese company. He's an entrepreneur. He came to the States to start a company.
Maybe we interview him to see what his perspective is. But basically, you have this whole system where you have companies from before that did really well as startups, but now it's completely changed. So we kind of want to go into why that is and why that's changed.
Yeah, so I think it's perspective. I think when you want your young kid to go up and be successful, be safe, and have a happy life and relationship, you're going to want them to take the safe route. That's what every parent wants. I mean, in the States, you want your kid to grow up to be a lawyer or a doctor, right? I mean, that's a good safe route. They have a steady job. They're always going to be needed. They're going to make a large amount of money. In Japan, I think it's similar. If you want your kid to go to a good elementary school, so they go to a good middle school, so they go to a good high school, so they go to a good college, so they get a good job. And then they can work their way up in the company and have very, very steady, good relationships and have the same thing you had.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think a lot of the reason it's different as well is because they did have success in the 80s. And a lot of people did do businesses and they flourished for quite a while, or it was pre-80s as well. But basically in the 80s when they had the bubble, right? They had the whole bubble with the economy, and then it burst, as well as other places. I mean, I'm pretty sure
the Babudu Jidai was a big thing.
Yeah, and so after that, at least from what I know about the economic history of Japan, is it was kind of a lot of businesses failed, a lot of businesses, any startup that happened
zombie banks.
After that, it was you get demolished. Like there was a long period where they all failed and you just could not work out. So it became kind of a stigmatized like occupation. In order to try and have that endeavor, it's a grand, like delusions of grandeur per se, and it's like people just think you're a dreamer that you're a fool for having. Well, in America, that's kind of
how did they gain their success? They gained their success by going to college and going to a good company, helping the company grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
And being maybe an entrepreneur would be more common there, trying to move your way up in the company. Yeah. But the kids that are starting up businesses are the kids who didn't get into college.
Exactly.
They're the kids who have no other choice.
Yeah.
I mean, who else is going to start it?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
especially when there's definite like kind of rigid social expectations
Yes.
because of the stuff. There's the expectation that
Mhm.
if you have this image, then you're succeeding, and so that kind of is it's the lawyer, doctor, those kind of situations of Japan. Yeah.
And I think that the lawyer doctor extends to the whole salaryman movement. But I also think that this is very dangerous to their economy.
Yeah.
That's why I think Korea will eventually surpass them someday, because Korea is more entrepreneurial. But I think that the young kids who are starting this, I think that's their way out. I think allowing these kids to learn how to start their own business, to make those mistakes, I think is very, very important. I mean, I have learned more starting up Manga Sensei as a company than I have in the past 2 years of school.
Yeah.
Easy.
Exactly. I mean, it's book smarts versus street smarts. You're getting a ton of street smarts. Yeah.
Well, I am fairly book smartish.
Yeah, I'll give it to you there. There you go.
I'm just transitioning my knowledge.
There you go.
From one section to another.
Yeah.
So, if you are an entrepreneur in Japan, or you want to know more about entrepreneurism in Japan, I recommend looking into it a little more. There's a lot of great resources out there. The World Entrepreneurial Index is a great option there as well. We'll link in the show notes down below. But our question for you this time is, why do you think Americans, or at least everyone else, scratch that, why do you think Japanese people aren't as entrepreneurial? Feel free to leave your comments. We will respond to all of them.
Exactly. Maybe we completely missed something. Maybe we're missing a very key factor that probably should be talked about. And if it's big enough and you have evidence, then we'll definitely talk about it on our next show.
それでもちろん、もし日本語でそれを書いて望んでなら、どうぞ日本語でお書きください。そして日本人にもなぜ日本で起業家がないんでしょうか。それも聞いてみたいです。そしてa little bit about like our startup too. I think we've seen a lot of growth there. I'm happy that we've had a lot of support there. So this is also a video to thank you for supporting us in all the cool things that we're doing.
Exactly.
If you haven't checked it out, look up discovernihongo.com. It's the database that's going to be holding our app. It's the first online Japanese grammar dictionary, which is what John was initially hired on for.
Exactly.
And he's half the brains behind that sucker.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of time and effort, and honestly, quite a bit of time and effort. But honestly, like we think it's a really good material. It's gonna be free, so just check it out. Most of it's up so far. We're completing that hopefully by the end of May. But yeah, check it out, and hopefully it can help you with your homework, schoolwork, just learning Japanese for whatever reason, or just exactly American dream. Okay.
Ja, we'll see you guys next week, and until then, yoroshiku.
またね。